going on, everyone? And welcome to the final episode slash discussion slash whatever you want to call it of The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 8, Chapter 16, The Rescue.
What a mouthful.
There we go. Broke it down for you guys on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I am Armando. With me, as usual, is Pedro. And
hello.
the lost soul, Orlando. What's going on, buddy? How you been, man?
What's up?
Oh my God, Orlando's here?
How fitting that we started the season with me on it, and now we're ending it with me on it. So it's been a long time. Yeah, how fitting. It's been a long time since I've been back on the show, so good to be back.
Oh, yeah, it's almost like you did it on purpose. I don't know. You slacker.
He wanted to be a bookend. All right, gents. As we usually do on this show, ladies and gentlemen, we just go straight into it. We don't do any spoiler-free discussion or anything like that. We just go straight into it and let you know our thoughts and ideas and stuff we've read. Pedro, let's start off with you. What did you think about the episode?
I mean, we don't care about spoilers here, FYI. So if you haven't seen it, stop right now because we're going to go right into all the goodies. So I'm going to go right into the big one. They fucking showed Luke and I had no idea that was going to happen. Like zero idea. We kept talking about it and in this podcast, we kept mentioning no fucking way are they going to do it. It's going to be, Ezra or this other guy I mentioned or Kyle Kestis, any of these people. It can't be fucking Luke, and they fucking made it Luke. How'd you guys feel about that?
I mean, leading up to it, just the whole fight scene with him, like when you see the X-wing, you automatically you think Luke, and then
yeah.
And then you see the robot hand, and then obviously he's wearing like that black robe. Leading up to it was really, really cool, and then finally
awesome.
Yeah.
Like we watched it together, and we were both like, "Oh shit, it's one X-wing. It's one X-wing. Okay." And then he comes out, or whoever cloaked, and we're like, "Okay, cloaked. Obviously a Jedi." You see the green, we're like, "Okay, green. Who could have green?" And the robot hand. At that point, all of us were like, "Oh shit, it's fucking Luke!" Like that was the one, the gloved hand.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the X-wing in my head, I was just like, "Oh no, it's Luke." I didn't want it to be Luke, so I was kind of like in my head. I saw that, and I automatically saw the X-wing. I'm like, "Oh my god, don't tell me it's gonna be Luke." And then once I saw this green lightsaber, I'm just like, "Oh my god, it's fucking Luke." And then you saw the hand, and I'm like, "Oh shit, it's Luke."
No, you first.
Oh, okay. So yeah, in my head, I didn't want it to be Luke. It's just too obvious, It was just too. I don't know. It what I loved about the Mandalorian so much is that it gave space to everybody else you didn't know of or you didn't think of or something like that. Of course, it was amazing to see him, especially seeing him as a Jedi ripping through robots. Epic as hell, Great scene. Reminiscing of Darth Vader and Rogue One.
Yep.
But it's
like
just
father, like son.
I just wanted it to be someone else, man. I wanted them to give another Jedi that moment, And I didn't want or need Luke. I didn't need it. Like you know where his story ends. So it's kind of like I don't want that to be a thing. I don't know. It was just it was good. It was awesome. I wanted it to be somebody else. Like in my deepest of thoughts, I thought it was gonna be someone else.
But now that it is him, I also agreed with you. I was like, oh man, I don't want it to be him. But now that it is him, I'm like, fuck it, dude. It's awesome. I don't give a shit. And I know what you're saying, that you want them to show everyone, but they haven't really showed anyone from the original trilogy, so it's kind of nice to see them tie it all together. Like, we got a bunch of Clone Wars tie-ins, and we had a couple book tie-ins, with Cobb Vanth That was the Aftermath book. So you got it from all of them. Why not get it from the actual like movies at this point? So it really was just missing. My only nitpick really would be that I just wish it was Sebastian Stan instead of a CG double. That would be my nitpick. Because now you really can't use Luke anymore. That really was just a glorified cameo. Because where they're going to keep using him and use CG, it's just going to look really weird. I felt like they thought it was risky enough to do it because it was so quick. It's almost like a blink and you're over, and it's over type moment. So yeah, but overall, I'm really okay with it.
I feel like the CGI Leia had a bigger payoff than Luke. While CGI Leia, I don't think like I think Luke looks better. But I just remember Rogue One, and at the end of that, and just seeing her, everyone was like, "Oh shit!" Like
right.
Because we all knew that there was a possibility that Luke was going to be in the final. Like, regardless of, like, our theories and what we wanted, Luke was always on the table.
Yeah, there was always a possibility. Yeah.
So like, wow, I feel like they nailed it, but like if you're trying to like get like a spectacle, like make people go like bananas, like wow, like that was pretty great, and a lot of people went bananas. I feel like the reaction of Leia,
totally.
I feel like the reaction of Leia in Rogue One is so far like superior because in Rogue One, you know exactly where that movie ends and episode 4 begins. So it was like, oh shit, it was such a great tie-in to like the whole like trilogy.
Yeah. It's like a great alley-oop to the next ones.
Yeah. So good. But yeah, I agree with you. I think they could still use Sebastian Stan down the road if they want to. I don't think they're going to. I'm kind of tired of the same characters popping up again. Like, I'm done with the original trilogy characters popping up again, especially now because all we have left now is, the original cast is Han and Luke. So I'm kind of done seeing them. Like, you had your chance to like pass the torch in the sequel trilogies, and you fucked it up. So like, just don't bring them up anymore. You know, like at this point, like. Like let stories be like different stories. Like I'm tired of the of like stories of the galaxy far away, but everyone lives right next to each other. Like everyone's fucking neighbors. It's like like you have this gigantic galaxy, but then the same characters keep interacting with each other. Like how? The best thing about Mandalorian is like literally, Boba and stuff like that, which makes sense because he's in Tatooine, but like literally. It was characters that you didn't know, which is great. Like it made it added to the world. Like finally, like there are generals in the fucking empire that like run shit and legit are to be feared. You know, of course we know about Moff Gideon, and we knew about what's the other dude's name that she's looking for. That Ahsoka's looking for.
Thrawn.
Like of course, but it's good to see other players in the game, you know, and like. So I agree with you guys. I wish it was somebody else. Definitely.
And one of the things that shocked me was that it happened very, like, quote unquote, early. You know, we would have assumed that Grogu getting taken away or swept away by a Jedi would have came later within the series, or how the series ended. I did not expect it to end. You know, that Grogu story ends here. You know, unless he comes back somehow, some way later on down the road. But the Grogu story ended. You know, mission accomplished. You know what I'm saying? You got the banner already going saying mission accomplished for Mando. So it's kind of like it the story wrapped up fast, which is great. Don't get me wrong, it's a good thing, but I thought it was going to happen maybe next season. I didn't think it was going to happen at the end of season 2, you know? So the Mando story is essentially, it's going to be something else now. And it's going to be the Darksaber story now. It's
Darksaber and Mandalore, it's going to be a lot of that now, passing the torch and whatnot.
Which is cool. I'm down for that. Like, I want Mandalore to be explored more. You know, Mandalore has such a huge history. If you take it back to the Old Republic, even before the Old Republic, when they had the Mandalorian Wars and all that crap, and then when they fought the Jedi and shit like that. But it's just curious that the show ended that fast. It ended it that quick. That abrupt.
Honestly, the show could have ended completely, and I thought it did. I thought Book of Boba for a while was the new season 3. Like, I thought the Book of Mando was over because, you know, you get your chapters. So 16 chapters, it's one book. Now we're opening up a whole new book, the Book of Boba. That's what I thought it was for a while. Yeah. Then a lot of people started thinking that. Then they had to go and clarify and go, nope, Boba's first. And then after Boba's over, then we'll get Mando 3, which is shocking, but
yeah. So they're delaying Mandalorian 3 essentially for a year.
No, they're not delaying it a whole year.
Yeah, it is a year because Boba's first. Mandalorian's not gonna come within the next. You know, Boba drops.
Yeah.
No, December 20 something. And if it's 8 episodes, it's gonna take you all the way to February. And then if Mando's gonna come, it's gonna come after that. So it's delayed for a year.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's really delayed like a month or two, but it happens to land into the next year. So I get what you're saying. It's technically 2022, but it's
not really though.
It's not winter. It's not winter of 2022.
Mandalorian always aired in October, so it's literally delayed a year.
No, they're saying that it's gonna be spring of 2022. It's piggybacking. It's piggybacking freaking Boba. I mean, as of right now, there's no.
So it's
100%.
Technically, it's only delayed like 3 months if you think about it.
Yes, it's technically only delayed 3 months, but it is the next year.
I don't think so.
I mean, we'll see because they haven't chosen a concrete date, but that's what they keep saying. They keep saying it's the show immediately after it.
No, I think everybody's confusing filming with premiere date of Mandalorian.
Could be.
I think
I'll have to look again.
What I think they're saying is that Mandalorian's gonna film after Boba finishes filming. I don't think it's gonna piggyback premiere wise.
Maybe. Boba was filming while this was airing.
Yeah.
And still is. Yeah.
Yeah.
When he made his appearance in this show, they were already saying that he was filming his own show. Those were the rumors, and now we know those rumors are true.
And Mandalorian takes almost 6 months between shooting.
Yeah.
Because it ends, typically speaking, it ends around this time, and then it airs in October. So it's about 6 months post production. As I'm saying, I don't agree with the idea that's gonna piggyback Boba. I think it's gonna be the next Star Wars show in fall of next year. I don't think it's gonna be spring.
We'll see. You'll see. So, rewinding back on the episode, I know we went straight to the big one, but let's rewind back a bit. When the episode started, I thought it was kind of cool that it referenced all the people that died on the Death Star, because, you know, the guy was holding the doctor hostage, and then he was like, I lost millions died on those Death Stars. And I remember in Clerks 2, remember they were having that conversation about like, hey man, they blew up the Death Star, and then how do you know that all of them were like bad guys or whatever? Like, what if they were just, you know, working a janitor job and shit, and like, you know, it pays the bills, you know, whatever, you're just working for the government, and then just boom, and you fucking die. And like, so when I heard that part where he's like, millions died, I'm like, fucking Clerks 2. All those innocents.
Yeah, man, the rebels were terrorists, man.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, they just won, so now they're considered the winners. So
the winners write history, dude.
Yeah, I thought that this episode did a great fucking job of like going straight into the action and building the team up real quick, because right after that you get Mando and Boba immediately go to the bar, and then they get
Bo-Katan.
I was about to say Sabine. Bo-Katan. They get Bo-Katan, and they get this other chick, the fighter, UFC fighter. I remember her name. Or no, the wrestler.
Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks. Her character name was just here too. But anyways, so you get them going, and then you get Mulan going, and then the whole group.
Wait, hold on. I just want to say,
Go.
like, the part that was so cool is like when they meet Bo-Katan and Boba's there. They're like, "Oh, you're not a Mando. You're not a Mandalorian." And then he's like, "Oh, my father was." He's like, "Oh, what do you mean, you're donor?" Like that is so.
Yeah.
And like,
You're right,
I didn't
right.
get it. I didn't get it at first because I didn't watch the Clone Wars, but then I was listening to a few stuff, and it's obvious that she would know what a fucking
His
clone
voice.
sounds like because they're all clones.
Mm-hmm.
They're all clones.
Like, yes, sir. And she's like, this bitch. Like,
And she's like,
you don't
like,
belong in that fucking
I-
armor.
She's like, I know that voice. I've heard him millions of times.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty cool. She said that because
Yeah.
it literally digs into the clone. Like, you're all clones.
Mm-hmm. No, I love that. That was a really good scene. You're right. And then of course they had the fight, which I'm glad they did because then they showed off more of Sasha Banks' character. Because yeah, we saw her in a firefight with the group, but we never really saw her like shine like in hand-to-hand fight. And obviously she's a wrestler, so I wanted to see her do shit like that. So she had her own little moment, where they pretty much had the what I call the Avengers like pissing contest, where right before they team up, they always gotta like fight. So you got that out the way, which I always thought those moments have to happen. And then of course when they storm the ship, I thought that was the perfect way to show a girl power moment without like shoving it in your face.
Shove it
like,
in your
obvious.
fucking face. I love
Like,
that.
and the reason why, and what I'm referencing when I say shove it in your face is I'm referencing Endgame.
Avengers.
Because there's that Avengers Endgame moment where everyone was like,
We
okay,
got your back, and then the camera goes around and shows all the girls coming in.
All
like,
the girls,
yeah,
they were
and all pose.
Everyone was scattered around the battlefield, but somehow you all found a way to huddle up together real quick to go, you got it, girl. And then it's like, come on, it took me out of it.
Yeah,
So,
this was perfect.
But then,
this is exactly what it is. Like, you didn't need that to know that these girls are badasses. It just gave it to you. It just showed you, like, yo, these girls handle their shit, and it didn't need you to give you a camera forcing them together, posing, or anything like that. It's just they rushed down their ship and they started shooting people. Like, how awesome was that?
No,
Handle
and then the
their
chemistry
business.
was great. The chemistry was great because you have Cara Dune that's got her fucking like minigun, that just like mows down the hall, and even when it's not working, she has that moment where she's just like trying to get it to work. She's like, "Oh, got it!" And then when the elevator door opens, you just mow them down. And then you got Mulan. I'm gonna keep calling her Mulan. You got Mulan over there sniping people, and I love the scene where they're like on the walkway, and immediately the two Mandos go to the side and like hide, and then they get surrounded, and that's when the Mandos like jetpack up, and then they outflank everyone. I thought that was such a cool fucking scene because it also shows like the teamwork tactics, which is something I love to see. Because we're so used to seeing Mando like one-on-one people, and not one-on-one, but 1v5 people by himself. So I always love seeing like teamwork, and seeing that Mando group of Bo-Katan is always cool to see in action. So yeah, I really liked the action in this, and then
it just felt fluid. It felt natural.
Yeah,
there was no like, oh, look at me do this type of moment. It was just kind of like it was just in the flow of the fight. They were doing their thing in it, and I think that made it feel better.
Exactly, and naturally they each got their moment to shine, and it looked awesome. You could even tell they purposely got rid of the dude Mandalorian from the other episode just so you can have your girl power moment, but it fucking works. It was fluid. It was awesome. So yeah, I really liked it. And then you get Mando, who has to deactivate to close the doors for the droids for the Dark Troopers. Which I don't know if you got like fooled by it too, but after he does his fight with the one, I thought that was a cool ass fight, and he gets to use his rod where you finally see it in action, and then he airlocks all of them out, and I was like, that's it.
Yeah, that felt very Battlestar Galactica.
Yes.
For me. What is it, Galactica?
Yeah.
Galactica? Fuck,
Well, I guess the villains looks pretty similar. The robots.
They look like Cylons. Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, so it felt very reminiscent of that, the whole Dark Trooper thing. I was just like, man, this is awesome, dude. And they're fighting in a ship, and then they're flying into space and all this shit. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
I mean, even that scene though, when the dark troopers are breaking through, and then Mando quickly like shoots him out the airlock, like that was really intense. Like it had a sense of like suspense that they kind of like baked in the show. Like it went from like action to like suspense thriller and like really quick, which was really great.
Yeah, and it did a great setup of showing like if this is how long it takes to take out one of them, and it took everything. Like all of his weapons didn't work. Like he used his I forgot what they call them, like the birds or something. They come out of his wrist.
Or some shit like that.
Yeah, like a bird whistler or something. I can't remember the name of it, but that was like his secret weapon, and that shit was useless. And then he used his flamethrower. Yeah, the flamethrower, it just cooks him for a bit, completely useless. So you're just like, oh shit, this is like one fucking guy is like taking him out. So when he airlocks all of them, you're like, oh, okay. I mean, of course, because there's no way you could take out a battalion. And then later on, when the battalion comes back, I'm like, oh my god, what are they gonna do? Like
that shit was awesome, dude. I'm like, in that moment, I was like, how are they gonna get out of this one? Like they can't beat this battalion, dude.
Yeah, and then you get a really good fight scene. At first, I didn't want Moff Gideon to have a fight scene because I kind of liked the fact that he was like a brains, like Tarkin. But then, of course, you have the whole Darksaber aspect where he had to win it in battle. So I'm like, obviously, he needs to be good in battle. So let's see how good he is. So it was actually a pretty good fight scene.
When it comes to that scene, Gideon was being tactical, dude. If you think about it, as soon as Mando said, "Oh, I don't care about the saber. All I care is about the baby," he went, "Oh," and he started he started his machinations at that point. So he instigated the fight because he knows what that meant for Bo-Katan.
That's true.
That's the only reason why he fought him. He didn't fight him for any other reason but the Darksaber. So that's why when they walked into the room, he was already laughing. He was like, "Oh, she's not gonna do anything, man. She needed to fight me, but you're the idiot who fought me." So it's kind of like he planned it. Like as soon as he said that, Mando kind of fucked up. Moff Gideon essentially planned the whole thing as soon as he said that.
Yeah, to cause some drama, or at least get him killed after, because that's what he expected, for them to fight again, to then buy more time for his Dark Troopers, because he knew they were coming back. That's true. I didn't think of it that way, but he totally instigated the entire thing for that. He's like, oh, yeah, because I'm surrounded. I'm gonna lose, but let me waste some time real quick.
But like win or lose, like I got this in the bag. Wins. Yeah, he wins. Yeah, it's pretty smart.
So like he was a smart guy, dude. Mando's the one who should have never said that. He's just kind of like, okay, let's work something out here,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but of course he didn't know the whole rules.
No, he didn't.
It's which is yeah, go ahead, Mando.
No, go ahead.
It's interesting about this rule because Pedro was telling me that I guess Bo-Katan originally got the sword from like her sister. Without fighting
from Sabine.
Sorry.
Right.
I don't watch
from
Clone
Rebels.
Wars or Rebels.
Oh, so you don't know these characters? Never mind.
No. You tell the story.
Okay, so I was telling Orlando that because as soon as that scene happened, it starts saying, "No, you got to win it in battle," and then he's like, "No, whatever, take it. No, you need to win it in battle." And I was like, "Yo, that's bullshit." In Rebels, it was handed to her. It was handed to her by Sabine because Sabine found it in a cave. And then she fought with it, and she was gonna rule, but she's like, I don't need a rule, so she gives it to Bo-Katan. So I was calling bullshit on that for a while, but then I remember Dave Filoni wrote both of them. I mean, Dave Filoni didn't really write this one, but he oversees creatively, to make sure things are on track. So for him to let that slide, he has something like planned. So what a lot of people are thinking, because I started reading into this a lot of people are thinking that the main reason why she lost her power was because she didn't follow the rules. Because when she got handed to it, there were a lot of witnesses. So maybe they'll add later that people didn't think her rule was genuine, blah, 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 and then it causes like a rift, and then she loses it in battle, and then it just adds further to it. So for her to like be respected, to not make that happen again, she needs to actually win it in battle. Obviously, this is all just people, hypothesizing, but it does make sense.
I mean, is Rebels over?
Yeah. Rebels is done.
So how are you gonna? If that's the case, you need to show that. If you're gonna retcon
in the next season,
you gotta show. Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the next season you could talk about it. Like, oh, it was given to me. You know, why can't I just give it to you? It was given to me, years ago, and it didn't work out. I don't know, whatever. It's an easy sentence fix, and then you go, oh, okay, cool.
Well, it's like what he was saying that the power lies within the story, not within the sword. So it's kind of like if that sword was passed down through generations to the rulers of Mandalore. And as a Mandalorian, I think if you wanted to rule, you have to take out the top dog. You have to take out the main guy. So that's the only way you will ever rule is if you took out the main person. It's like what
very simple.
The rule of two.
What Maul did. Maul took out Pre Vizsla, and that's how he became the leader of Mandalore. So it's kind of like it's a rule by combat, right? If you win in combat, you get to rule. So you have to take out the top dog, and then if you take them out, you're not king. Yeah. So I think the Darksaber lies within that same thing. So when Bo-Katan was given the saber, it was lost to time, and it was found, and like, oh, this is a relic or an heirloom of the ruler of Mandalore, right? So whoever. And that's why it was given to her, because you're the ruler, so you deserve the saber. But Bo-Katan lost it in battle. She didn't lose it like, oh, I fell off my thing or I fell off my ship. No, she lost it in battle. So essentially, when it comes to Mandalore, she's no longer the ruler. Whoever won is the ruler now, which could be quote unquote Moff Gideon.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
So she needed to win it back in battle in order to become the ruler again. So it makes sense when you think about it in those terms.
In a story.
Yeah, because Mandalorians are all about fighting each other and who's the strongest one, and the strongest one rules, So that's where it leads into.
Yeah, I guess in that sense, it doesn't really need to be retcon, because you said like at the time, the saber was just sitting, waiting for the next leader. And the leader
it was just sitting in a cave.
Right, and then so she did become the rightful leader because it was given to her. But then once the leader has been chosen, the rule applies.
Yeah. That also makes a lot of sense.
That makes sense because because then like you said, like it doesn't matter because it was just sitting there. So once the leader was chosen in terms of Bo-Katan, once she lost it, then there's only one way to get it back, and it's through combat. That makes sense.
Yeah, and plus she became the leader through combat also. Like with her and Sabine, they kind of took out the Empire and became leaders. They rallied up the clans for that that war they had in Rebels. So she became the leader through battle. It's just not like
it was essentially a bunch of generals got together and revolted. And she happened to be that makes sense.
So she needs to win it in battle again. So let's see how that plays out. The like they said, the leader lies within the story, not with the relic itself.
Yeah,
which is true.
Very interesting route. I really thought they were going to do the whole lone wolf and cub thing for at least a season or two, so it threw me off that they went this route for sure. It's definitely next season's definitely going to be Mandalore, Darksaber drama. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to see Mandalore. How fucked up it is.
Yeah. What'd you guys think of the after credits?
I thought it was dope. It's kind of weird that it's like from all the things you can do now, you got your costume, you got your armor back and everything. It's like you're gonna just be a kingpin now, and
yeah. I mean, that's kind of what it seemed like.
And there seems to be nothing to rule Tatooine. There really in Tatooine. Is every time we've been back to Tatooine now, it just seems deserted and like impoverished, like in every aspect. Tatooine just seems very like in it, like there's nothing there to dig for.
Right.
Because we've seen because we've seen a lot of parts now of Tatooine. We've seen like that where the Amalfon's character, the cowboy city, everything just seems like a poor planet. So why would you want to rule there? But
yeah, we'll see. I'm sure he's been there for a long time, so he's probably just thought, I'm not gonna live long enough to see this fucker getting fat and sitting on there. This asshole. Like, maybe because he had a grudge specifically on that guy, on good old Bib Fortuna. I thought that was a great, great way to do a spin-off, like, because I knew they were doing a Boba spin-off, but I'm like, how are they gonna backdoor, pilot this one? And when I saw that, I was like, you know what, it's pretty good. There were plenty of references to like Return of the Jedi with going down the steps with the shadows and everything. And then there's something that they mentioned in the documentary that I watched that came out on Christmas about the making of season 2. The staff that Bib Fortuna has is actually from like the toy. It was one of those things that like wasn't part of the movie, and of course, this show is practically made by fans. They decided to throw it in there to show it. But I also just like that that throne really just creates like greed, because if you notice, all the Jabbas are like fat. So maybe that's because that's a position of power that makes you like big. And obviously this guy takes charge and he just gets huge too. So I'm curious to see, is Boba gonna get bigger? Because he's a little on the pudgy side.
I wouldn't be surprised if like he rules and then he leaves and does something else.
Yeah.
Because all he's been searching for was armor for decades. He's got it.
Right.
Why be tied down? Like, I would assume the last thing you'd want to do is to like be like especially like after he's like, when they ask him like, oh, what are you? He's like, oh, I'm just a traveling man like my father before me or some shit. Clearly you're not gonna. I just can't see him being like just staying there and like in Tatooine, especially what Star Wars is all about, set pieces. Star Wars in general as a franchise is all about, check out this cool set piece. So it's just, he's not going to be staying there regardless of if he rules continuously on Tatooine. He's not going to be staying there for like the whole series, the whole season.
I just feel he's after something. The only reason why he took over Jabba is because Jabba's power, Jabba's sea has power, so he's gonna use it for something. That's his end goal is not having power, is not taking over the throne. His purpose is probably to take the throne, to use it to get what he wants. He's after something. He's after something. That makes sense. He's not after the power of that throne. He just needs the power of the throne to get whatever it is. So my theory, my idea is that he's using this throne to gather people to go after what he actually wants and needs, and that's what we're gonna find out. The reason why he took over this throne. He's definitely not. He's not gonna stay there. You're absolutely right. He's a worldly guy. He's not gonna sit in Tatooine and getting fat. So he's using it for something. That's just a tool.
Agreed.
I like that. That also, for the show, they're gonna have Mulan tagging along because I guess they're just like bros now, and we're gonna get to see a little bit more of her backstory in the what was the animated show again?
The Bad Batch.
Bad Batch. And then we're gonna get some Boba backstory in the show, because I remember, when he showed up and when he did that, we talked about in one of the episodes where he did that pact with Mando. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna stay with you until we rescue the little one." And I'm like, I know we didn't get any backstory as to like who Boba is, like canon wise, but that seemed very out of character for me. So I kind of want to know, who the fuck is this guy? Like, what are his, what are his what does he follow? What does he want? So yeah, I'm curious to see, because this, like Orlando said, this seemed like even more out of character than what we just knew. So yeah, so what is the end game? So overall, I'm excited for all these spin-offs. They've set up the right questions, the right characters. Maybe New Republic is the one that I'm least excited about. I
could care less about New Republic, to be honest with you.
Yeah, unless you show me something really interesting in the trailers. Yeah. I'm not too crazy about the idea of that one, but everything else seems pretty good.
I think the only reason why I would care about the New Republic if it's like political intrigue. Something like that.
But it says Rangers. It's Rangers of the New Republic. So specifically, it's them out there.
No care about that show.
Yeah. So who knows what it is?
I mean, it would be. I think the best thing that this show did, though, and we mentioned it earlier, was like end the buddy thing with Mando and Grogu, because like just that alone is more intriguing. Like, cause you predicted Mando, cause I listened to the whole show, that they weren't gonna ever separate until the end, because like the show is them. Like, there's no show without them.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
clearly. And I think it's the best thing that they ever did, because now they can go anywhere and they're not stringing you along anymore. And it's clear that they're not going to show Grogu, because why would they, when they use Mark Hamill, CGI Mark Hamill? Now they've used a real person, then they can show what Grogu's up to. Because I don't see the point of showing like Grogu training and then like he's by himself. That'd be weird.
Yeah. No, there's no way.
What do you guys think happened to Grogu?
He's with Luke, and Luke is starting that academy.
And then he gets killed by Kylo. Then that's what you're saying.
Either Grogu is the like his first student, and Grogu becomes the idea for the academy, and then maybe Grogu leaves and doesn't get killed. Like, maybe, because maybe he has a crazy growth spurt, and then like teenage Grogu like leaves, and then Luke's like, all right, let me do the academy.
Yeah, I was talking to you about that, Orlando. That Grogu is gonna have an immense growth spurt within the next 50 years. Because they were saying that Yoda becomes a master at the age 100. So if you're a master at 100, Grogu's at 50. There's an immense growth spurt within the next 50 years. So in the next 25, he has to be like a teenager, or he has to be a young adult in order for the next 25 years for him to become the master.
Right. But
actually, I just looked up a High Republic, because High Republic is this new thing that's going on that takes place 200 years before Phantom Menace. Yoda isn't a master yet. He's still a knight, and he's 700 years old.
Oh,
and that's him in that's him in knight status. So, damn. So at 700 years old,
that doesn't seem right though, because how old is he at the end of the series when he dies?
He's like 900.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. If he's at 700 and this is 200 years before Phantom Menace, he's in his 900s.
And he's still a knight at 700? That can't be, dude.
It says...
that sounds so weird.
Well, I mean, I guess they're not specific about it, but they did say younger Yoda. I mean, he could be a master at this point, but I don't know why. I felt like I read something here in High Republic saying that he was still a knight. They're saying he's wearing temple attire. For 800 years, I've trained as a Jedi. And that starts in like a couple days, so I guess I'll find out then.
800 years and not a master? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you're right. That doesn't make sense. He has to have been a master. Yeah.
Because if you think about fucking Anakin, it's like Anakin...
Or even Obi-Wan. Like Obi-Wan was a master like in his 40s. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, get your shit together, Yoda.
Even Anakin started late. Remember, because they don't train. They don't train at that age. He was too old to become a youngling. Yeah. So they trained him at 13, 12, and then by early 20s he became a master. Mid 20s
he didn't become a master, because that was the whole reason why he turned all angsty. They won't give me the rank of master.
I thought they gave it to him.
It says here, look. And Wikipedia says that around age 100, Yoda was ready to pass on what he had learned. Having attained the rank of master, he spent the next 8 centuries training and tutoring generations of Jedi.
But
so there you have it. So you guys are right. In 50 years, he's going to have a massive growth spurt.
Is that canon, though, or is that Legends?
I don't know. Sometimes Wikipedia doesn't really... they make everything canon until it's considered not canon anymore. But interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't really say. But yeah, so the point being here is that at some point there's gonna be Baby Yoda's gonna go through a growth spurt. He has to be.
Yeah.
Because if in 50 years he could become a master, then he has to around the next 10 years be a toddler. 10 years after that, he needs to be a teenager. So,
and if I'm not mistaken, in another 40 years is when Force Awakens takes place, timeline wise. So it makes sense that he would already be grown up by then.
So yeah, he has to be grown up by the time the sequel starts.
Yeah. Either way, he's not gonna get killed. He's gonna get written off somehow in some spin-off, or Ahsoka will come back from her adventure from her spin-off series and pick him up on the way back. Something's gonna happen. He's not gonna be there.
And you guys say that Ahsoka is dead by the new trilogy, right?
I say
no, it's not. It's not said.
She's dead. It's not canon, but because her voice is heard.
Yeah.
At the end of Return of whatever is it.
But they asked. Yeah. At the end of Rise of Skywalker.
Right, because she was like, "Oh, all the Jedi live inside of me."
Yes, but Dave Filoni had mentioned, because that was one of the things they said. They said, "Oh, he heard. I mean, she heard her voice. She heard Ahsoka's voice. Does that mean she's dead?" And he went, "Not necessarily." So it's like, oh, okay, Ahsoka's alive. In his headcanon, his waifu is still alive.
Who knows, man? Maybe he's saying that so people won't know the end of Ahsoka.
Maybe. Who knows?
I mean, it'd be very fitting if she dies saving Grogu, because she didn't want to train him. So it'd be very poetic that the person you didn't want to take is the reason for your downfall. You saw him bringing you couldn't control him, but then you had to save him, and then he is the reason why you ended up dying.
That would be interesting.
That'd be very good. That's good. I think that's good writing.
It would be. It's it kind of full circle type of thing.
Right. And because who knows? Like maybe it's not. Maybe he wasn't. He's not strong enough, and then she feels bad that she could have made him stronger, and so she has to team up with him, and then he end up dying. You know.
Yeah. Well, I honestly I want Ahsoka to die, because I feel like there's no point of keeping her alive, to be honest with you. Like if you think about it, once the sequel trilogy starts, what's the point of having her alive? There really isn't none. So, and for me, I feel like she needs to die before the sequel trilogy starts. And
so the only other reason I could see why you would keep her is if the unknown sector, the unknown regions of Thrawn still somehow keep going that far down. If for some strange reason it does. That's the only way. But you're right. If they're in that galaxy, the known regions with the resistance and all that, if she didn't show up, she ain't there. She ain't around. She's either dead or in a whole other section. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I wouldn't want her to. I wouldn't want them to elongate her story for no reason. You know,
right?
She needs to have a fitting end. Just like she had a fitting end in the Clone Wars, it was a perfect end to her story there. She needs to have a perfect ending, and I don't think keeping her going, like, oh, maybe she comes out now here, you know, it's like, no, dude, just fucking end her story, man.
Yeah.
Give her a proper ending.
Yeah, because Rebels wasn't really an ending, and then obviously she's here, which takes place after Rebels. So I guess we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. So
Star Wars is looking good, man. It's just exciting to be excited about Star Wars again. Like that ending just fucking shattered everyone. Like, oh my god, everyone felt like a fucking kid again. It was just like,
yeah,
like
it's what the sequel should have done, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, Mandalorian is the best Star Wars content we've had in the last
since Rogue One.
Since Rogue One, I would say. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Since Rogue One.
Because you had Force Awakens, which we all enjoyed, but looking back, it's a copy. But it was still enjoyable, you know. And then you had Rogue One, which was like, you know, it was mind-blowing. So, yeah, I would say it's definitely the best content since Rogue One, easily.
Damn, that's a long time if you think about it. Let me see. Rogue One.
I mean,
what is it, 6 years?
10 years? Maybe.
2016. So it's been 5 years.
Well, 4 technically, since 2020 was the show. So yeah, 4 years.
Oh yeah, 4 years. That's crazy, man.
But in the day and age where every year was, or every other year was something Star Wars related, yeah, it's pretty intense.
It was every year
Actually,
since 2015, right?
I'm actually gonna debunk that.
Okay.
Mandalorian is the best content we've had since the season finale of Clone Wars. Which was this year.
Oh my god, that ending was so good, man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So JK, it hasn't been that bad, but like, yeah, of course, comparing it to the movies, yeah.
Orlando, if you need some background shows, I'm gonna give you a quick list of Clone Wars episodes you need to watch.
As long as you pay attention, you can background all of them, but you need to pay attention to the last 4. The last 4 are fucking golden.
Yeah. Like the 30 episodes. I don't care if you listen to it or not. But that last season, man, what is it? 4 or 3 episodes, Pedro?
The last 4 episodes, which is the Darth Maul arc, that arc specifically.
It's so good, dude.
You might as well watch the first 4 as well, because it's going to be a Bad Batch, backdoor pilot. So you could do that. But definitely the last 4 are fucking golden, man.
Ah, man, it's so good, dude.
I got some time, so
it literally ties in perfectly.
Yeah, it does.
To Revenge of the Sith.
It does.
So good.
It does a great job.
It was perfection, man. Any last thought, gentlemen?
No, it's just so nice to be excited about Star Wars again. Overall, it just really is.
Yeah, absolutely, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed this discussion about the Mandalorian season 2 finale. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts. What are your thoughts about what's gonna happen in Star Wars? What are your theories? Is Grogu dead? Let us know. Till next time.
Bye-bye.
Later, guys.